Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Free Trade Analysis. First of all, thanks to all of you for a great response on my last videos, and those went great. And thanks to all of you. If you are new to my channel, I am Vaji Kazmi, and we do the analysis of different forex currencies and cryptos on a regular basis. And now, if you have not liked my channel, so I would like to request to you that please like my channel and subscribe it as well, so you can receive the regular updates from my side. And don't forget to click on the bell icon. Thank you. Okay, so now let's start off with the today's analysis of the dollar index, the DXY analysis. Okay, so when we were last analyzing the dollar pair, it was at this point, okay, which was on the 19th of August. Okay, so and I gave you guys a move that on a Monday and Tuesday, it also followed the same pattern that it's gonna be bullish, okay. And you can clearly see that the levels that we gave to you guys were followed clearly, and especially this was clearly followed, and this scenario was not executed, and on the selling scenarios were not executed at all. So let's discuss the scenario that was executed, and then we can move on with the today's analysis of this pair. Okay, so let me just remove these as well, so it would give you a clear picture. Okay, so this was a move that we considered as a relatively riskier move, as the market was currently over here and this area was being tested. So what market did was that it broke past this area and again came back and dropped down to this area. And then this area became our area of interest after that. Okay, so if we were a risky trader, we would have entered here, but we would have hit a stop loss over here. But once again, if we would have made a risky entry over here, then we would be in a good profit, and it would be a huge one. Okay. The risky trader does not give up easily on one entry or also two entry. The risky trader always keeps on entering until he gets his goal. Okay, since the stop loss is too small, like over here, so that's what if he or if you have hit one stop loss on I would say this candle, and you would have entered again on this candle, then you would have made a huge profit of risk to reward ratio of 1 by 13. So even if you have lost 1%, you gained simply 13%. So you gained 13 times more right in the next trade. Okay, so that was a little bit of scenario that happened if from our previous day analysis. Now our this area of resistance has now become an area of support, and now this is also an area of interest for us. Okay, and you can clearly see that this area has been respected, even this area has been respected several times. So we would what we are gonna do, we are gonna move this trend line over here so you guys can have a clearer picture. Okay, so what are we expecting now is that since it has broken past this resistance as well, and it has tested the recent all-time high and again entered the area. Now this was our area of extreme resistance, and you can clearly see that when it entered, when the dollar pair entered our extreme area of resistance, it fell extremely, and very volatility was here. Okay, but now what we are expecting is that it would slowly climb up again and now break above past this area next. Okay, this is our expectation. Okay, and if we check out the daily chart, you can clearly see that I marked this area in front of you guys, and you can clearly see that this area was hugely respected today. And if you would have followed my risk to reward ratios, you would have made a huge profit from this selling scenario as well. Okay, so now this is an area of resistance, and this is also an area of resistance, and this is an area of support for us now. Okay, so what I would like to get, what how I would like to trade is that if now I wanna go long, then I would certainly wait for this area to be broken, a market, a candle closing above this area, and a candle closing back again, and then I would go long, something like this. Market goes up. I'm gonna mark this area red. Candle goes up and candle comes back down here from this level, I guess, and then again the market closes above this area, something like this. Okay, this would be our first scenario. The second scenario would be that if the market straight away goes up from here, like for example, if market closes from here above this point, and then we simply just go long, this would be a risky entry. Okay, but how are we gonna trade our selling our selling entry? How would we place that? Okay, uh, one the first point of interest would be the current area as well. Okay, this would be our also an area of resistance. Okay, so just to clarify that if the market goes down like this, I'm gonna make the scenario red in color so you guys can have a better idea. And then market comes back up again and tests this zone again, and then market closes down. Okay, something like this, then maybe you can go short, something like this. Okay, another buying scenario would be something like this. Okay, I'm gonna mark this in green color so you guys can have a better idea that this is a buying setup. Okay, I'm gonna pick this up right here, like something like this. And if the market again tests, no, rather just this would be a double test as this area has already been tested. If this area is tested again, then maybe we can go long. Okay. Okay, let me just pick this up and make a little shorter as this, something like this. Okay, so just be careful for our buying scenario as we are majorly looking for a buying opportunity. As this, but as you can clearly see that this is a huge sell pressure that we are seeing. If we check out the 4 hour area, then this area of support has not been broken, so we are waiting for it. If this area is broken tomorrow, then maybe we can go for selling scenarios in a recent in the recent time zones. Okay, but currently we are not we do not have any such opportunities, and we are expecting the dollar to take charge and go higher again. Okay, so let's move on to the next pair, which is Euro USD. Okay, so what happened to Euro USD since we last analyzed this pair? It went down aggressively. Okay, when we were last analyzing this pair, market was over here. Market was rather on this candle, and this candle closed below. And if you were a risky seller, you could have made a sell from here as well. If you were not a risky seller, then maybe you could have waited for this scenario kind of to be executed. but it did not follow that pattern, but rather it made another support area, which if you would have followed my videos, you could have identified it very easily and marked this area yourselves from here. Okay, this was an area of interest for us when this area was broken. You can clearly see if you were over if you would have waited for a double bottom, double top, sorry, then you could go short from this candle. Okay, as this area was a double top, clear double top from here. Okay, the next I think that none of our scenarios were executed. If you can say that one of our risky selling scenario was executed, but I don't really think that that would have paid off unless you guys are really risky sellers, which I do not recommend. This scenario was only executed. From here, if you could have executed, then you would have hit a stop loss over here. And if you would have sold over here, then you would have again hit a stop loss. Okay, so that two stop losses in a row. What if you would have again entered the market from here, then you could have easily recovered both of your stops and would still be in huge profit. Okay, so just that just depends that what kind of seller you are, so you have to identify yourself. Okay, so just for your analysis purpose, I'm gonna mark the amount of profit that you could have made if you were a risky seller. So this was a point where from where you would have made a risky sell. It was broken thrice. Okay, and upon the third break, it was never broken back again unless it gave a huge profit to us. Okay, so if we mark this area, so what happened over here? Okay, this would have been our stop loss, and this would have been our take profit. I'm gonna make this a little wider so you can easily check out that how much profit you we could have made. Okay, this is 1 by 16. Okay, so for example, if you were a risky seller and you guys would have made two stops, or guys have hit your stop loss twice in the previous two trades that I have given to you, but still if you would have continued with the selling strategy, then you could have made us 1 by 16 percent of profit. Okay, so if you had lost 2%, you would have gained 16% over here. So overall, you would have been easily in profit of 14%. Just like in the previous pair, if you hit one stop loss, and similarly you would have gained 13%, then overall profit of 12% in the previous pair, which was dollar pair. Okay. Similarly, in the Euro USD analysis, you guys can clearly see that 16% profit is huge. Okay, only risking 1% of your total equity, you could have gained 16% easily. Okay, now let's move on to the today's analysis of Euro USD, that what it is doing now. You can clearly see that Euro USD has broken past all its lows, and now we have entered a new low, which is 0.99053. Now this would act as our huge support. Okay, so let me just delete this. Let me delete this and this. Okay, so this would be. Now let me mark this area as a support zone, and now these areas have converted into resistance zones for us. Okay, now we would have to be looking for good selling opportunities. Okay, even this is our resistance for us. Okay, so what we are currently looking at is even currently it is at this level, so I'm gonna mark this level as well as an area of support for us. Okay, even though it really doesn't seem like, but still I'm gonna mark this area so you guys can have a better idea that how this market is gonna behave tomorrow. Okay, so what are we looking at is that the Euro USD was falling brilliantly, and from this point the buyers came back in market, pushed the market up, but sellers again tried to bring it down. But over here, the sellers were successful in a huge manner, and they were able to push the market up, but they could not break break past the basically 1.001 level, and where did they close? They closed at this level of 0.99, which is a clear sign that even at a psychological level that the 1.0 barrier has been broken clearly, and we can easily expect the market to go down further in Europe for tomorrow. Okay, so currently market is over here. So the selling scenarios that we would be waiting for, that if the market goes up again, something like this. Okay, this is an area of interest for us now. Okay, let me make uh, okay, this is an area of resistance. Okay, so we can wait and watch that what the market is gonna be doing tomorrow. Okay, now I'm gonna make this scenario in red color so you can clearly know that what I'm trying to say. If the market goes up again and respects this zone. Okay, let me push it a little further. Add this support area is basically this, and this whole region is would act as a resistance zone for us. Okay, so the next we would do is that if in this region the market enters and gives us a selling candle, something like this or this, then we would go short. Okay, and we would make a good profit, I guess. Okay, so the second scenario would be if the market closes straight away and we are a risky seller and we go short straight away. Okay, this third scenario would be something like this: if the market goes short from here and comes back up again, something like this till this point, and market is unable to break this area. Okay, this area, and then we can go short again. Okay, something like this. Okay, a buying setup would be something that if yes, if the market goes up again, something like this, and market respects this area and goes up, then we can wait for a buying opportunity as well. Okay, so I'm gonna mark a buying setup as well, so if that is followed, then even you can maybe make some little quick profit from the buying setup as well, as it has fallen significantly, then maybe it has a potential for some retracement. Okay. Okay, so this is a buying setup for you guys. Just be careful. I am not really. I never recommend to go against the trend, as the trend is suggesting that it should be sold. So my preference would be to follow the trend and go for a short trade from a good support zone, resistance zone rather. So I would wait for a good selling scenario to be executed, and I will follow the same. So let's wait and watch that what's Euro USD gonna be doing with us tomorrow. Okay, now let's move on to the GBP USD pair. Okay, since the last time we were analyzing this pair, you can clearly see that the market was somewhere, I think, uh, over here, I guess. Yes, something over here. So the market, I gave you. selling move which was respected hugely. So if rather two of my scenarios were executed, one selling scenario and one buying scenario as well. Okay, so now let us analyze those scenarios. Rather, three scenarios were executed, so let's discuss one by one. Okay, now let me remove the scenario that was not executed. Okay, now let's first of all discuss the selling setup which we gave to you was that if the market goes up and does this area again and closes down, then we can easily go short. Okay, so if you would have taken this trade in GBPUSD, then you could have made a good profit easily. Let me show you guys that how much profitability would you guys have made if you would have simply followed the rule. Okay. Oh, this is huge, but even if you would have exited from here, then it is the profit of 1 by 3 was easily executed without any risk percentage. And if you were a risky seller and you would have continued, then till here it is a 1 by 7% profit. And if you would have continued it further, then how much profit you would have made? You would have made a profit of around 1 by 9%. Okay, so that all depends at what kind of seller you are. Yes, okay, so this was scenario was hugely respected. Okay, the next was a buying setup if the market comes over here and gives a buying signal. So you can see that not exactly market came over here, but somehow in this region we can say that the market came in this region and gave a good buying candle. Okay, so we could have gone long over here and we would have made some profit out of it as well. Okay, so how much profit we would have made? We Let me just mark the selling. Okay, this would have been our selling setup. The profit would be 1 by 1.6, which is again great. The usual recommendation is that 1 by 1.3, which is normal for us, but we are making huge profits, and even 1 by 1.6 is great profit as two of our scenarios are being hit. And if the scenarios are being hit safely, then those are the best scenarios to be followed. Okay, so now let me just clear this chart a bit so we can have today's analysis. Rather, this is again respected, so I'm gonna keep this. Okay, now this area is okay. So more or less, what the market has done with us is that market has gone down and market has again retraced back up. But the area of interest that we have followed, it has respected that area, and it has closed with a good selling candle over here and again over here. So if the market comes back up again and respects this area, then maybe we can go short again, but that again depends on what the market has for us. Okay, so now we are going to look for a good selling opportunity. Okay, now this is a little too far, so I'm gonna pick this and I'm gonna move this to over here. Okay, so and I'm gonna make this chart and color in red. So this is also another area of interest. I'm gonna mark this in red. Okay, so what are we going to do then and how are we gonna trade is that if the market is just for example, if the market goes up again and respects this area and then maybe we can go short from here. Okay, something like this. Okay, the second scenario would be if the market breaks this area, this current support area, and maybe we can go short simply. Okay, we are a risky seller, then maybe we can go short easily from here. The third scenario would be okay, I'm gonna mark this a line over here as well so you can have a better picture as what I'm trying to say. Okay, now the third scenario would be that if the market closes below this area and market closes below this area, and then the market, what does the market do? Then market again comes back up again and respects this area, and thirdly the market respects this area and closes below, then maybe we can go short again. Okay, a buying scenario would be that if the market, if the running candle or the market tests this area, for example, like currently something like this. I'm gonna change its color so you can guys have a clear picture. If the market tests this area and closes a good green candle, then maybe we can go long, something like this. If the market close gives a green candle, then maybe we can go long. Okay, so this would be our buying setup, but my preference would be to go short as this pair is falling, so I would not really recommend to sit in a buying trap. So let's just wait and watch that what this pair has for us tomorrow. Okay, another area of interest would be for us to have some buying would be from here. If by any chance the market comes at this point tomorrow, and if you are actively watching the market, then just be vigilant. If the market tests this area, just pick up an opportunity of double bottom and go long from here. Okay, if the market comes here and gives a green signal, gives a green candle, then maybe you can go long from here and make a good profit like this. Okay, like from here till here. Okay, so okay, just wait and watch that whichever scenario fits in, just do the take the trade accordingly. Okay, now let's move on to the next pair, which is the dollar, which is the gold. Now let's do gold analysis as what happened from the last analysis that we did. Okay, guys, the last time when we were analyzing the pair, the gold was at this point, which is 1746. We had marked several selling scenarios, and what happened with those that some of those scenarios were hit beautifully. Yes, rather two. One risky scenario was hit, and one this retest scenario was hit. This buying setup, let me just open it more clearly that if the buying setup was executed or not. Market was over here, market tested this point again, but did it close up? No, not really, but when the market tested from here and gave a green candle, then maybe we could have gone long and we would have made some profit even in the short term buy as well. Okay, now let me mark the amount of okay, there we have some gap over here as well, like market closed over here but opened from here. And if you would have gone long on the opening of this candle, then how much profit you guys would have made would be something like this, 1 by 1.6, I guess. Yes, rather more, 1 by 9 or 2, 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is great profit in short term buying. Okay, so let me delete this scenario. Okay, and then I asked if this scenario, if this area would be tested, but this area was not tested, so I'm gonna delete this scenario. So what happened was this buying setup has been kind of executed, so now we are gonna remove this setup. And now let's discuss the selling setup, the first selling setup that we gave to you guys, that if the market closes below this area, then we are gonna wait if the market retests this area and gives a and closes below this area. So if you guys would have entered on this candle, then you guys would have made a huge profit. Okay, so now let me just mark that as how much profit you guys could have easily made from this trade. Okay, now this would be our stop loss, and the profit would be the amount of profit that we made. Oh wow, 1 by 9. Okay, this is a huge profit. So simply just by following the simple rules that I am following you guys, and you guys have made a huge profit today. So just keep following the strategies that I am giving to you guys, and then you guys can easily make good percentage of profits in any market that I am analyzing for you guys. Okay, now this retest scenario was for those buyers, those sellers who are safety traders like me. Okay, even you guys would have made huge profit. Now, if the risky seller, if you were a risky seller and you would have sold, I think over here, then you guys would have hit a stop loss over here. But if you guys would have again hit the sell button over here, the similar pattern would be followed for you guys. That 1 by 9, you guys would have also been in profit. So two of the scenarios were executed in a similar manner. Now let's try to analyze the dollar pair, what it's gonna be doing with us tomorrow. Okay, so the market is now currently over here, and now we have to look at the current setup as if what is the market doing with us in short term scenario. Okay, so now the gold has is significantly fallen in the 4 hour as well, and now it has given us some retracement. Okay, now but you can clearly see in the last 4 hour candle it was a huge selling pressure from 1753. So okay, so we are gonna mark this area for us as a point from where all the sellers are really active. Okay, so now I'm gonna mark this area for you guys. Okay, now this is also an area of interest. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is something like this, something like this. Okay, now this is our area of interest. Okay, from here. So we are going to wait for a little while that if this area is tested, then maybe we can go short from here. Okay, now the trades that I'm gonna be giving to you guys would be something that like this. If the market goes up again till here, then maybe you guys can go short like this. Okay, market has this area and closes with a red candle, maybe you can go short from here and have a good selling. Okay, what if the market breaks this area and goes short? Then maybe simply you can go short from here and be a risky seller. The third setup would be that the market closes below this area. Okay, and once again it tests this area again, and then the market closes down, then maybe you can go short again. Sorry for that. And a buying setup would be if the market respects this area. I'm gonna change its color to green so you guys can know that now I'm talking about a buying setup and gives us a green candle, then maybe you can go long for a short term. This would be a short term buy. Another buying setup would be a good buying area would be from here. I'm gonna mark for you guys so you guys can have a better idea. Okay, So if for example the market comes down all the way down and tests this area again, then you guys can go long if the market closes above this area. Okay, just be vigilant of the market's scenarios. Okay, and if the market respects this area, then you go short, and similarly if the market goes up again and respects this area, then maybe you can go short from here as well. Okay, just be vigilant that which area is being respected. Okay, well, this is our analysis for the 24th of August. Now let's see, and let's hope that we make good profits tomorrow. Okay, the dollar analysis, the euro USD analysis, the GBP USD analysis, and the gold analysis has been done for you guys. If you guys liked my analysis, and if you guys would love making more profits from my videos, then please like and subscribe my channel, and also click on the bell button so you guys can receive regular notifications from my end. Thank you.